Good morning. Well, today we're going to be talking through all things hiking shoe related, and in particular my own relationship with this particular brand of shoe and why I found them so good. Hi, I'm Jenny and I'm dedicated to adventure. Now, if you're interested in learning why I swapped over from the traditional hiking boot over to a trail runner back in, I think it's 3rd of August 2024 on my Facebook page, Jenny Woodhouse, I filmed a video going into all the reasons why I found that these suited my particular situation. And I just want to say that choosing a hiking shoe and finding the right type of hiking shoe for you is an intensely personal little journey. What suits me isn't going to suit other people, but I found the right fit for me for all of my hiking adventures, whether day hikes, multi-day hikes, or long distance hikes like the Te Araroa Trail. I also wanted to add that these are all my own personal choices. All of the stuff here has been purchased with my own money. I'm not sponsored or affiliated with any hiking brand, for example, not the shoes, not the clothes, not the gear. All of these items have been purchased with my own money, except for I am product testing these Hike Sense hiking poles. So that's the one exception. But once again, I'm not sponsored, just showing you what I love. Okay, let's jump into what I've found with these trainers, how well they've lasted, the things I've liked and the things I haven't liked. Let's start off with these Lone Peaks. Now, these were the first time that I had tried a zero drop shoe, and as I say in my Facebook video, I went through 8 or 10 weeks of feet and ankle strengthening program to be able to swap over to these so that I didn't have any problems. Let's have a look at these very thoroughly worn shoes. Now, I can't tell you exactly the correct kilometers on these particular shoes. I can only show you what's happened to them. So these actually didn't last very long before the heel part, the backing came out of them, which was really disappointing because that then caused blisters in the heels. I don't remember how many kilometers into that journey I was, but that was the main problem with these. The soles lasted pretty well. So I was really happy with those. But with these ones, it was the uppers that disintegrated first. Try and get my finger in here. You see that hole? So the negatives on these shoes, whilst they're all very comfortable and I found them really great, was that the uppers didn't last as long as I had hoped. And the soles lasted really, really well. Now these I wore all on my 6-week solo alpine hiking trip. So they certainly went through some very rugged terrain indeed. As far as comfort goes, I don't have any sensation in my feet due to spinal cord damage. However, I do feel from about 50% of the way up through my ankle, certainly calves and everything above that. So I did find these quite comfortable. In all of these shoes here, I have chosen to take out the Altra inserts and I've swapped them out with these. And I find these really good. There's also a gel version, but I find these the best. They're really good. They suit my feet. So, uppers deteriorated on the Lone Peaks. Soles I was happy with. The other thing I haven't talk through. These flat shoelaces I found tended to come undone. So when I was wearing these shoes, I needed to tie a double knot, which I didn't have to in these. Now, these are also Altra. All of the shoes today you're seeing today are Ultras. These are the Mont Blanc. And these have more of a stack height. Like the Lone Peaks, they are 0 drop. And these, hopefully you can see these soles. The soles wore out. Whilst it was the opposite situation here, the uppers remained in really great shape. I didn't have any issues with the heels in these ones. And the other thing that I really love about the Mont Blancs is that they have this rolled shoelace, which only requires a single bow and never comes undone. So if I had to choose between the two models, and I don't, because I think they're suited to different conditions. So these, because of the higher stack height here, can make you a little bit unstable through the ankles if you don't have a weighted backpack on. But once you've got that weighted backpack on, these make me far more comfortable through the day, and I tend to do more kilometres in them. Whereas with these ones, I do find that my feet get tireder more quickly during the day. However, they are more stable because the stack height is not the same at all. Let's see if we can compare that. You see the stack height there? Not the same at all. I love the guide rails on these too, but the stack height's completely different. So this model, and I have the brand new ones here, brand new model, Lone Peaks again. These I will be wearing on the Queen Charlotte track, on the Te Araroa Trail, and also through the Richmond Ranges, Nelson Lakes National Park. Now, of course, these aren't going to last like a hiking boot does. But I had to come to a decision a couple of years ago, working out my priorities about what was more important. Because in the hiking boots, I sustained incredibly bad blisters, wore the same socks, had them professionally fitted, but an absolute nightmare. And I've been wearing hiking boots for decades. Whereas these, apart from the foam heel that gave away in that model, I didn't get any blisters at all. So I decided that my priority was that I was happy that I would need to replace these more often in order not to have blisters and have a more comfortable on-trail experience. So Queen Charlotte track, Richmond Alpine track, Nelson Lakes is what I'm going to be wearing with those. Then, you'll see there's a bit of a theme here. Oh, gotta have some coffee. The new Lone Peaks, when I say new, they've actually done about 300 kilometres. They've done a heap of training. They've done all those circuits from Mount Nagungun. They done, what else? Mount Maroon, Mount Mitchell and Mount Cordeaux, and they've also done a 4-dayer on the Sunshine Coast hinterland track. So about 300 kilometres so far. And I don't believe there's really any wear and tear on them so far. A little bit of a thread pulled there, but the insides have stood up really, really well. vibrant soles. So hopefully these will be nice and durable, because as I said, the soles on the old version were durable. It was the uppers that was the problem with those. And the second pair are these Mont Blancs. They're exactly the same as these, just the new version. Every time after I come back from a hike, I throw these in the washing machine and spray them with nappy sand, and anyway, make them sanitized so I'm not transmitting bacteria and stuff into the bush. So that these are exactly the same shoes, old, new, faded, who cares? So new ones haven't been worn at all. So I see these as being my shoes for all the other sections of trail in New Zealand on the Te Araroa Trail. Now, of course, we'll see how we go with both of these. If I need to buy a third pair, I will, because as I said, these have done 300-ish kilometres at the moment. But I would think that they'll be absolutely fine for the Queen Charlotte track and the other two tracks. I expect that Richmond Ranges are absolutely going to damage the upper. So if I have to replace these, no problem. And so I should get a fair bit of wear out of these though. We'll see how the soles stand up, whether they deteriorate as quickly as these. But having said that, as I said, I didn't track the kilometres on these, so I actually don't know how much I did in them. I know it was a heap, and I will be tracking the kilometres on these, and I have been tracking the kilometres on those. So there you have it. That's my opinion on trail runners. Now, if I was to choose a different brand instead of Altras, let me see. I have tried on the Hoka Speed Goats and I really enjoyed those. So that would be a potential another brand. And then when I was out doing a bit of training with a girlfriend, I borrowed her Toppos, but I don't know what model they are. They weren't waterproof, which I love, but they were also really comfortable, although I only did 5Ks in those. So there are other brands that I potentially would try. Altras come first to me, then Hokas would be my second choice, and then I might look at that one particular model in the, what are they called? In the Toppos, goodness me. Okay, I thought I should talk through my sock choices as well. So I start with a base layer of the Injinji toe socks. Now, these are the longest length, which I particularly really enjoy, and they have a really good element of compression to them. So I find they make a real difference to my foot and ankle tiredness and swelling by the end of the day. So I swear by those. They're very, very clean, but very, very well loved. So base layer of those, and then usually next layer are a pair of wool socks. These ones are Mat Pack. And once again, nice long length, as long as I possibly can. And then in snowy conditions, I tested these out during a snow trip, and I did a lot of walking on these. These are waterproof. They're seal skin socks, and they are knee length once again, and they're winter rated. And being waterproof, they absolutely work a treat when paired with these. And a trail runner. That's my solution to snow. I find that really good because none of these shoes are waterproof, and nor would I want them to be. I'm not a fan of waterproof shoes. Gore-Tex are too heavy, and I find I get a lot more swelling with Gore-Tex shoes. And as far as the Te Araroa Trail is concerned, you know, I've been training for and I'm expecting to have my feet wet many times each day. In fact, there's one particular day's walking where you cross about 62 waterways. So it's not often that my feet are going to be dry, and the rivers are too deep for these, a lot of them. However, the benefits for a non-waterproof shoe is that they shed the water really quickly, dry really quickly, and at lunchtime I elevate my feet up like that, usually lie on a hut's veranda with my feet up against the wall, so they're elevated, shoes off, all of that good stuff. Even 20 minutes, half an hour, that makes a real difference. So anyway, they're my sock choices, they're my shoe choices, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate everyone following along with my journey. It's very exciting. I only have, oh my gosh, 5 weeks to go now before I fly over to New Zealand and start the Te Araroa Trail, and I absolutely can't wait. I'm hiking the entire length of the South Island only, about 1,400 kilometres. So I'm not doing both islands. Both islands 3,000 kilometres, but just the South Island. And I'm an alpine girl. I absolutely love hiking in alpine terrain. It's my very favourite. So that's exciting stuff coming up. See you in the next video. Bye for now.